Hey everyone, it's the Nitty Professor. You guys are familiar with these boots. They've really taken it on the chin lately, and I've decided that it's high time for these Red Wing Iron Rangers in the Hawthorne Mule Skinner leather to get a spa treatment. This leather it feels almost crispy to the touch. It's sort of like touching Zwieback, what we might call Melba toast in English. They're sort of, this is a critical care case, y'all, so I wear the heck out of these boots. Now, I have started the first boot. I'm just going to walk you through the process on one boot. Well, one half of one boot, one half of the other boot. So this is the boot that I have cleaned. And, it still has my beloved patina on there. But if you look at these side by side, you can tell that the cleaning has made a difference. So on the right, we have the dirty boot. On the left, we have the clean boot. Is it sanitary? No, it's not. I would have to destroy the leather to get the patina off of it. But that's not what we're about. But we do want this leather to last a long time. So getting the bulk of the dirt, the grass stains, the dust, the mud, etc. is pretty imperative. So I have a leather cleaner, and I have mixed it with some water. Could probably just barely catch a glimpse of that without me having to spill it. Now, I'm not going to swear by my method, but you can see from the difference between the two boots that it worked, right? So, I have here now, this brush is in my boot care collection. For all I know, it's for nails, but it's also really good for scrubbing off this sort of leather, the Hawthorne Mule Skinner leather, which is basically, it's basically inside out, right? It's not a suede. That is usually a split type of leather. This is a Roughout, and you can just see, I'm getting off some green. That's from the lawn mowing. So I'm definitely being, I don't want to say harsh on these boots, but working this solution into the leather. So it's getting the leather wet, which is okay because it's going to dry. It's not a big deal. So I put this towel on the table because it is a wooden table. And I want to try to get into, as I'm working towards the welt, I want to try to scrub into that area because the dirt that gets embedded in there can deteriorate the thread. I'm especially pleased with how well the toe turned out on the other boot, so it'd be interesting to see if I could get close to that on this one. We'll see how far I get. I think you'll, get the point of what I'm doing without me having to necessarily go over all of it. But yeah, this is, since it's a Roughout leather, part of my goal is, frankly, to restore some of that nap. That being said, once I condition it, it's going to flatten it down again. So that is a natural outcome of the process. I want the leather to be healthy, shall we say, to get that oil, that moisture back into it. Kind of like hand cream, it will change the character of the leather. Now, like on the back here, this is already, it's worn so smooth just from the traction, the friction of, whatever it is that my boots hit up against when I'm mowing or gardening or walking with my dogs on whatever surface, you know, everything from cement to the huge grass lot next door, asphalt, all that kind of stuff. And I want to get the tongue really good here. You can see the tongue, I mean, just how it's just thrashed, you know. But by getting a lot of the dust off of here and working this soap into it, it's gonna make a big difference and improve the cleanliness, dare I say, of the leather. Now the next step, and I might come back and do a little bit more, but I have a couple of bowls here of clear water. Now previously I did this at the kitchen sink, so it was a little bit easier, but for demonstration purposes, just gonna dip this in water and just do the same thing again. And it's kind of crazy how quickly that water gets discolored just from sort of rubbing off the soap and brushing it, working it off of the leather. So this will be the next step, and I might go at this for another 10 minutes or so, and that gives you an idea. So again, I don't know necessarily what the cobblers would say if that's, you know, the precise way. I'm clearly being rough on the Roughout, manhandling it a little bit, but I'm fine with that because really that dirt, that grass especially, it's just embedded in there so deeply that that's what it takes to work some of it out. And again, it's not all out, but this is the boot that I did earlier today. It's had a good number of hours to dry. Now there are a lot of options for what I could put on here, and I've chosen Smith's leather balm. I could use anything. I could use mink oil. I could use all kinds of stuff. I have some beeswax that I got. It's from Walmart. Now this is a proprietary blend, but the ingredients are cocoa butter, beeswax, and almond oil. And it likes to pride itself on being fairly straightforward and simple, with a big claim on there that says, "That's it." So again, it's going to change the character of the leather, but I'm just going to smush this stuff in fairly liberally into the Roughout. As I said, these boots have really taken it on the chin. They have gone through mud, they've gone through rain, they've gone through grass, they've gone through dog poop. It's been a little while since I used this stuff. It's kind of hardened a little bit in there, but that's okay. So I'm going to not mess around. And that's okay, because you can always add more, but you can always, I'm going to wipe off the excess when I'm done with this. And I may decide, you know, I want to kind of like, quote unquote, polish it, you know, rub it down a little bit. But what I want in the end is for the leather to feel supple again. I'm going to try to really work this into the tongue here. It's surprisingly solid in the tin, so I got to kind of squish this out. I have another container of very similar product, but kind of like working in your facial cream after 40 years of applying makeup or whatever. Not that I've done that, but some people do, right? You can already see it. I mean, it almost looks buttery. And that's frankly what I want. I can already tell that this leather is happier because of this spa treatment that I'm giving it. So I'm going to keep going here. And I'd be curious, like, if this was your Roughout leather boot, what you would use. Because I'm guessing, you know, there are a lot of alternatives. some people, they just want to spray it. You know, they want to maintain the character of the rough out. They don't want it to turn it into a smooth out, which is arguably going to happen here. Now, over time, the rough out character of the leather did return, but it came at a price. It came at a price of just poor condition, you know, honestly, just poor condition of the leather. And after a while, you know, it could start cracking. It could start scarring. It's one thing to have a nice patina, but it's another if your leather is so dried out that it cracks and it just doesn't work anymore. So it's also more comfortable when it's supple. Supple leather is a luxury. It's a wonderful luxury. I really enjoy wearing it. And that's kind of what I want here. Now, it's sort of intriguing to me that my Smiths, which arguably is, you know, it's not new. I've had it around for a little bit. So it's probably aged like the leather of it itself. It's kind of solid in the tin. You can kind of see there. I'm having to sort of work to get it out. But I am doing it because I'm determined. I also have my table on stilts, so I have to be careful not to rock it. We don't want to have an earthquake while we're working on this. But I'm getting close to the end here. I'm close to done. May have to open up that new tin, which is fine. So, I'd be curious, you know, I could have used a saddle soap. What I have is a leather luggage soap called Lexier that I actually got it in Germany, but I think it's produced in the United States. So I've gotten this leather pretty well coated. I mean, it's coated. It is coated. I'm going to work this stuff in just a little bit more because I really want it to get down into the pores of the leather. And again, it's going to change the character of how this Hawthorne Mule Skinner leather looks. But I'm fine with that because my concern is that the leather last. That's my concern. Now, if you want to preserve the character, you can just spray it. But that's not going to restore the moisture of the leather. So I'm just using a terry cloth. Now I might go back with sharper instrument to try to get it out of the seams here. But I'm just wiping off the excess. And it is kind of shiny, which is, you know, not how it looked in the store. Let's just be frank about that. But again, I think that's just fine. Because when I put these babies on again, probably tomorrow, let this, you know, dry overnight, the leather will feel much healthier, much more supple, moisturized, and will follow my, you know, the shape of my foot and stuff better. Get rid of, I mean, you can already see, look at the wrinkles are highly reduced in the tongue area, which is good. Work on the back stay here and just try to wipe down the excess while also frankly making it shiny. It's turning out shiny and I'm okay with that. So it's more or less it's going to resemble leather. Not, you know, the same appearance. So that's just something to be aware of. If you do condition your Roughout leather, it is going to change the character. But on the other hand, it's leather. So, you know, I personally feel like it's important to treat it as such and not pretend that just spraying it down with some chemicals is adequate. Because this will also waterproof it and make it so that it'll hold up to another season of moisture, dew, mud, sprinkler water, you know, whatever. So I still have a little bit embedded in some of the scenes, but I think I've got it about 98% where I want it to be for you. So yeah, we'll just show you the result. That is the Red Wing Iron Ranger in Hawthorne Mule Skinner leather, saddle soaked and conditioned after months of very hard wear. As I say, I've still got a few places here where I want to get some excess out, but it definitely changes the character of the leather. That being said, this leather feels much happier now. It feels much happier. So I'm going to continue and finish the other boot, and I hope you guys are enjoying your Red Wings and getting as much use out of yours as I get out of mine, which is a lot. They and my Trumans are my go-to boots. The only other ones that I wear as much are my black whites because I need them for band. So, happy boot conditioning. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk soon. Ciao.